Browns at the Giants. We're starting with a game that was a heartbreaker last week for me. I really needed that in my record, and I really needed my Browns to walk around with their chest held high, but they still can because I think Baker Mayfield may just be back. If you've seen him in this last game, he made some big time throws down the stretch. He looked like he was in control of this offense the whole time, and it really was reminiscent of the first time we'd ever seen Baker Mayfield in the league when he led the Browns to their first win in however many years against the Jets years ago. That's what it felt like. So if we can bottle this Baker Mayfield up and put him out there against the Giants this week, they have a real chance of pulling this out because this will be a closer game than I think a lot of people expect.
And part of the reason why I think that the Browns do, come back pretty strong in this one is a guy who is strong in almost every single game he plays, which is Myles Garrett, and his ability to bring pressure. And maybe you didn't see him sack in the last game, but his pressure was still there. The fact that they had to account for him with 2 or sometimes 3 bodies, that changes things. Even if it doesn't show up on the stat sheet, that's why you need to go a little bit deeper and go watch and see exactly what happened. Because when you watch Myles Garrett, watch how they have to account for him. Coming off the edge like that, how the burst, the speed, he's just been a great wrecker this season. And that O-line for the Giants, they've allowed the most pressures for their quarterback. And I keep saying it because it remains true. So that's going to be a problem for them in this one.
I totally agree. I thought it was really professional, Cynthia, how you did not give away the picks here, but I'm going to be the third straight person to talk about the Browns and how they're so great. So that might give you a clue. Their offensive line has gotten a lot of love in Cleveland. But I honestly don't think it's gotten enough love. It is the best offensive line. That's why Baker is looking great. That's why Stefanski partly is looking like a genius. The running backs are terrific, but you can do anything you want. It's a great equalizer when you have an offensive line that is this good at pass blocking, and you're seeing now run blocking. They don't have Wyatt Teller, their great guard this week, but I'm not concerned. The Giants actually gave up a lot of rushing yards a week ago to Arizona, and I think Cleveland can hurt them in the same way.
All right, well, let's get the picks. The Browns are favored in this one by 6. I am absolutely going with the Browns. I know I talk about them weekly, but Greg, you tell me I got a love fest with Rashard Higgins. Has he let us down at all week in and week out? Is he not out here making plays?
He did it. I mean, he had like 1 drop or so at the beginning. I was thinking of you, but he looked great. He looked great.
If you're watching our first segment,
Cynthia, who do you got?
If you're watching our first segment, I turned orange in the middle of it, which really tipped my pick. I'm taking the Browns in this one. Right now it's by 3, 25-22. However, I'm looking at the injury report and I see James Bradberry, their great corner. He's on the COVID list. So if he's not playing, it'll become a much bigger win for the Browns.
Yeah, I have the Browns winning by 7 points. We're not sure who's going to start at quarterback for the Giants. We know they're going to be missing their play caller, Jason Garrett, now Freddie Kitchens. Man, it would just be 2 Browns to lose to Colt McCoy and Freddie Kitchens. I just don't want to live in a world where that happens. I think this is a new Browns era, Hawk, and that you're going to be happy on Sunday night. Cynthia, let's get happy and do some math.
Well, you set me up in so many good ways because that O-line really helps solidify that Nick Chubb will have more than 76 rushing yards against the Giants. He has 80 or more in 7 of 8 games that he started and finished this season, so all but his Week 1 loss at Baltimore. And Chubb averages 105.6 against all opponents besides the Ravens. They're 7-0, whatever. So only 71 rushing yards against Baltimore. So it's really his only thorn in his side is the Ravens D, and it seems like this will be a good one against